Here's a little bonus. We are going to create, we're going to build 2 steps because we have 2 doors. So let's take a second to go through exactly how we're building these stairs. So we see that this stringer has this much distance, and you can see that there's a bit taken off as compared to this one. That's because they rise. So what we take in consideration is the total distance from the bottom to the top. 7 1/4, and then as we put it on the second one, it'll be 7 1/4, and then 7 1/4 on top. So you want the rise to be exactly the same for each step, which means the starter one will always be shorter than the next. Take account those steps. So always equal distance right to the top. That's the first thing. The second thing is that we have about 1 inch of reveal in the front. So you also want to have 1 inch of reveal on the end. So the next step is to draw the line for 1 inch on either side. I don't know if you can see that very well. So we're going to measure 1 inch on each side so that we can have 1 inch of reveal around the whole perimeter of the step. So that's step number 2. So the next step is that we're going to, because we're at the end of the wood here, there's a possibility that it's going to split. So we're going to make sure that the wood is lined up with that 1 inch line, and we're going to drill a pilot hole kind of on a slant, so that we're not splitting this wood. And we are measuring 3 holes. So one at about 2 inches from the end, one at about 1 inch and a quarter,
yeah,
and then one at about 4 inches. And as another tip, before you actually put these on, just check to see which side of the plank is nicer.
Yeah.
So this one,
same both sides.
Same both sides, so you kind of hide the imperfections underneath. Well, same thing on this side. We make sure there's a 1 inch reveal all around the end, and we're going to do the pilot hole. And then it's just rinse and repeat. Keep going until they're all set. As you know, with any other wood projects, your stringers are going to twist, so you make sure that you pin them accordingly, and then you measure off all the other sides and do just the best that you can, but measuring this 1 inch on all sides and making sure that your cuts are exactly the same length, and then you just kind of center, divide up the way you need to. The most important is the bottom step. So if you start with the bottom step and you base everything else off of that, then you're pretty safe that you're going to have a nice and lined up step. And again, do the best you can with what you got, then you try to start off with a solid foundation. And just make sure that when you put it down that it's snug. Your stringers are giving you a hard time, use these wood clamps just to bring them into place so we're good to go. This last stair is the easiest one to put in. We're going to start with a pilot hole because we're right on the edge. Make sure that it doesn't split. So once you got that corner pinned in, you can put a clamp on the other side and that holds it in place, and then you can finish this step. So great. So there's one point that I wanted to make is that why 3 steps? Because we measured how tall the distance was from the ground to this top. We'll call this a top step, and it's 28 inches because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Cut it into 4, and that's 7 inches. So that's why this is a 7 1/4 rise, 7 1/4, and then 7 1/4 to that top plate. And that's why we chose 3 steps. So now it's time to tie in the step into the main step, I guess. So because this is 7 1/4 inches, then we're going to measure 7 1/4 inches, and then this will be tied to the stairs, and then we tie it into the side. As you can see, we've measured 7 1/4 inches, and this will go like so. Another quick tip is that you can leave that same 1 inch reveal on the side, which will give you the ability to then drill easily into the side. If you put it flush here, then you'd have to go kind of inside, and it's not ideal. So you can give it a nice edge, and it finishes off quite nicely. Step complete with the little beveled edge so that it's not as sharp.